Good morning, everyone. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining the next session of Satsang and Guided Meditation. Let's just quickly do a check-in and see how you guys are doing. We'll start with Anita.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Missed you guys last week. Yes, I've been doing lots of reading and I've come across the definition for meditation. It's actually a meeting with ourselves. And how often do we have meetings with ourselves? We have meetings with this person, with work and family, but we never have a meeting with ourselves. So my Sundays are my meeting with myself. Just a thought I thought I'd share. Thank you.
Thank you. That's such a beautiful way of putting it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Meeting with ourselves and our extended selves, our other selves that is just, it's what Namaste is, the God in me sees the God in you. So it's just God particles getting together and having fun, and choosing to remember who we are. Hey, yes, wonderful.
Okay.
Thanks, Anita. We missed you last week, so I'm glad that you could join us again. Barbara, check in for us.
Yeah, well, I missed last week, I must say, with my computer issues, etc. But I'm very glad to be back this week. Yeah, I've had a sort of more normal week, which isn't good for me. I was preferring the sort of quieter time that during the lockdown. This week things seem to have been right back to normal, and all the stresses, and I haven't been able to concentrate on my spiritual side as much as I've had to concentrate on my physical, what I've had to do this week. So it's really nice to just concentrate on the spiritual side now. Yeah.
Good. I'm very glad to see you back. Yay. Thank you. Vanessa.
Yes, hi. I've had a lovely week. I always say that.
You always say that, yes. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's good to know that somewhere out there's somebody having a good week every week.
Yeah, but sometimes I feel I should be. No, I have to have a good week.
Yeah.
Yes, I am looking forward. I have 5 days off. Well, now it's 3 days. So I've been looking forward. I saw my mom last week and she gave me a book from my stepfather that I've never seen this book. It was written in 1813 and I love it. It's a handwritten book from 1813 and I'm going to today sit and take pictures and do some research, and I can't wait. So that's my task for the next 3 days, and I'm so excited about it.
For those that don't know, Vanessa is a bookworm of note. She's got her own library at her house, and I think her first love is books, her second love is books, and then comes Mike.
Yes.
Don't tell him that, but
don't tell him. And the dog.
And the dog, yeah.
So yes, I'm going to do some historical research today.
Awesome.
Okay, all good though.
Yeah, share some insights with me. That must be amazing. Wow, cool, exciting. And also, Vanessa is an Enneatype 5, so it will explain to you the fascination with it. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Renisha, check in for us.
Morning. I hope you can hear me. It's been an interesting week again. Lots of ups, lots of downs, but nevertheless, still finding my way through it. So, a decent, good week, I would say. Yeah, so good.
Good. Okay, good. Welcome. Maria.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi everyone, it's good to be back with you all. Also a bit of an up and down week. Last week was more down than up, so this week at least was a little bit more up than down. And I'm not quite used to having up and down. My circumstances often are a little bit, as Fiona knows, often a little bit sort of crazy around me, but I normally feel quite constant inside. I think last week and this week, part of my disruption, me feeling everything, is that inside it's felt a little bit disrupted. Yeah, so I think it's partly to do with the move and still not being fully unpacked and all of that. And some of it's been, I've been doing some work on sort of relooking at my vision and values and new plans, and there's been some deconstructing of certain things, seeing the need to deconstruct certain things, and before there can be some reconstructing. And I thought I could do it intellectually, but I'm seeing that there's a bit of a ripple effect emotionally. So yeah, that's where I am at in this little disrupted place. That's me.
Well, I'm glad that you could join us today again. With the ups and downs, I'm glad that it at least allows you to check in today and be with us. That's awesome. Yes, I've also found that we have to in the reconstruction and deconstruction before this reconstruction is like the tower moments. We have to it cannot just be done intellectually. I found that the emotions with me as well this week. I've been aware of it and been aware that I'm still healing, and then you just have allowance for that because as I said in the past, mentally we can put the puzzle pieces together and we can understand. Spiritually, I understand way before any other parts of me. But then, so get the spiritual understanding, get the mental understanding, and then in the lay process, the emotional understanding and healing comes. And it's just to be patient with ourselves, to also allow those emotions to catch up with the other parts of us, so that we can better function and that all of us is on the same page, on the same plan, heading in the same direction. Else, it can cause other disruptions, because if we're emotionally not right, then that life doesn't flow that beautifully. But I'm excited to say that I also had a good week, apart from the 2 days that I had to feel. On Saturday, I had 3 physical clients. I haven't seen physical clients and had a full day of sessions in yonks, way too long. So it was awesome. I did a light activation for a lady that felt that she needed something. She phoned me the night before, like 10 o'clock at night. I didn't answer because my phone was on silent, but she was so excited when she read my website, because my sister redid my website. So I invite you all to just go and have a look. It's looking awesome. I've updated all my courses and all my stuff. So she's just got a flair with websites. So I'm very pleased that she helped me. And it was also deconstructing, having to throw out the WordPress website, and now I've got a Wix one. So everything has changed. But it's I must say it's now in line with, I'm going to say, the anniversary of my business. 10 years is another one, so I'm starting a whole new cycle. So it just feels like there's new energy, and we have to do everything with new energy. I want to say reinvent in a different way, and do it with vigor. So she loves light activation. When I took her up, she saw who she really was, and it was just an awesome experience. Then there was a healing session that I did, but I'm now keeping my social distancing and wearing my mask and whatever. And for the first time, as I said to Mickey this morning, I could actually see the effects of my healing, because usually in my healing, my eyes are closed and I do what I'm guided to do, because I use my third eye. And so I'm I'm in it. I don't take a distance from it. But yesterday I got to view it from a distance, and my eyes was open. And as I said the various things, I actually saw how the beings of light was working on her, and how the different colors and the rays came in, and I saw how her aura changed. And it was, for me, a fantastic experience to actually witness it, because I do things with pure intent and with all my heart and with everything. And but to witness it was a total different experience. And I thought, oh wow, I can see all these things. And I think we've all changed and upgraded in various ways. And it's to figure out what else we can start observing and seeing and doing, because it's to use the tools that we are given and practice in whatever way, shape, or form. So yeah, that was interesting. And then the last one, I connected her with her late brother, and she also didn't know that she could see and not communicate with them. So as I connected her, because she never got to say goodbye, she just cried and cried. It was such a beautiful experience for her to hear from him, and to hear that he's okay, and that everything's going to be okay, and that he's happy, and to see him in the happy place that he is. So, I mean, when my clients leave all on a high and happy, then I'm on a high and happy, because then I think, oh, okay, I did something constructive. So it was very nice for me to have those physical experiences yesterday. So I'm grateful. And then connecting with you guys, that, as Anita said, helps me to connect with me, and also help me connect with you, because that is really food for my soul as well. So yesterday I connected with our groupie, and I asked her what messages there is, and 2 decks of cards said, pick me, pick me. So I oblige. So the first one is from Kryon. You know how I love my Kryon. And the card, don't know if you can see that, but let me just, I'll read it to you guys. It says, can a human being really be part of the whole creation? And that is a big concept for us to realize and know at a deeper level. And Krion's answer is definitely yes. What is that is the entire message of Kryon, that he wants to try and remind us of. It is the core of what we have been telling you, that the single human is an important part of God. So it is to just allow that piece of wisdom to filter in and filter through your being throughout today, throughout the meditation, throughout this week. Remember, we all are part of God. The part of God in me sees the part of God in you. And the most important part is for you to see it and recognize it. And then also to call it forth in other humans so that you get to have experiences with. It's to say, okay, show me your God part. Show me the God self within you. And you'll be amazed in how you actually start seeing different sides. Because whatever we call forth from another, if we say, oh, that one is such and such, then they'll show you such and such qualities. It's because you're calling it forth. It's like, show me your such and suchness without naming it or whatever. But if you call forth that God part, you'll actually be amazed in it's like, okay, so I actually want to see the God part in this one. And you'll get to experience it. You'll actually get to see it. So I want you just to try it out, and then next week you can give me feedback on if on your experience on that. Okay, cool. So then the other deck that jumped out and said, pick me, was the Animal Dreaming card. And this is when I thought I was immigrating to Australia like 12 years ago. So I thought I'll have an Australian animal card deck. That was my first investment towards that dream, but that didn't manifest. Just as well, because I met awesome all of you in Durban. So yeah, so the card that jumped out this morning is the number 22, which is also a master number, and it's the Wallaby, and it talks about progression. And sometimes especially in these times that we are now, we don't necessarily feel the progression, but there is progression. So I'm going to read the beautiful message that the Wallaby is bringing us today. And it says, after trauma, people often seek teachers and healers who claim to have the keys needed to help them regain peace and clarity. Despite leaving these sessions feeling confident and reassured, however, they often lose confidence in their own inherent ability to maintain wellness, and gradually find themselves regressing into confusion and emotional darkness. It is never their intent to slip back, but rather a force of habit. This shadow space is familiar and feels safe, despite its negative pitfalls. They revert because they aren't born equipped with a clear understanding of how to turn darkness into light and how to find sacredness in the horrors that haunt them, horrors that often hold within their recesses the keys to realizing their personal power and purpose. When confronted, we usually gird our teeth, swallow hard, and try to push through the pain in order to move forward in hope of finding light at the end of the tunnel. When we repetitively visit the shadow space or examine past experiences, people may suggest that we are dwelling in the past. And in reality, we may be. It must okay. It is it's sometimes necessary if we are to heal fully and honorably. We must visit our shadow space in a sacred way if we are to learn from it and, in time, rebirth ourselves from its limiting clutches. Wallaby, because of its unusual shaped hind legs and a bulky tail, cannot physically walk backwards. It suggests stagnation, therefore, and reluctant movement of any sort. Instead, it promotes progression, healing, and growth in forward leaps and bounds. If Wallaby has hopped into your cards today, consider that you may be dwelling on some past event and using it as an excuse to linger in your shadow space. Despite good reason, you may be blaming the event for a lack of healing, growth, or release of pain. Wallaby is priming you to leap into the future without regret and a healthy respect for your grief. Wallaby helps you to move forward, to explore new horizons, take risks, avoid the temptation to look back and regret, and never return to your comfort zone once you have left. Wallaby takes the pain from the past, dissects them, and it extracts their purposes to find their reason. This reason is a vital ingredient in realizing your personal power. The ingredient that can be shared amongst the people to aid in their healing. Onwards and upwards is the motto that champions the advice of the Wallaby, offers those who seek its counsel. That is the card message. So I can totally relate to the message. Can understand its meaning, and have been visiting those places, but also have been realizing that I've seen, in hindsight, I've seen my personal power come through. So we don't feel powerful in those situations and circumstances and so forth. And one of my clients commented, "Oh, you've bounced back so beautifully." And I thought, oh, I didn't see it, because from my vantage point, I don't see it. But so, because sometimes we need to just take a step back and look at the whole picture and see, okay, so I did become stronger. I did become more independent. I must say, for me, I've always thought there has to be two of me, me and another, to be able to do my work, and then realize, okay, so apparently there doesn't need to be another. Can still continue, and that dream has sort of died, and there's a rest in peace sign at that there's no more vacancy, and just to realize realize that it's okay. It's okay to do this on my own. It's okay to face this, and I'm still happy because I get to connect with beautiful souls and have beautiful experiences. So I've gotten to accept that fully, where in the past it might have been partially or impartially. Now it's fully. So yeah, anything that jumped out for you or gets resonating for you in the messages?
For me, I was just thinking about the how I've been feeling this week about having 1 foot in the 5th dimension and 1 foot in the 3rd dimension, and just sort of turning it in. It was sort of talking about turning things around and recognizing spirit in yourself and in everybody else, and how that helps you to get your other foot out of the 3rd dimension. So for me, that's exactly how I've been feeling this whole week. And I've just been, there's a particular person at the moment, and there's nobody I really know very well. It's just somebody who's doing some work for me, but his attitude is not good. And I was thinking of just dumping him and finding somebody else to do the work. And then I realized that maybe has been my attitude towards him that has made his attitude towards me the way that it is. And so I'm actually going to forgive myself, and I'm going to give him another chance and get my foot out of the 3rd dimension and just try and focus on being above all of that, and see where it takes me this week. I'll let you know.
Thank you. I look forward to the feedback. Yes. Renisha.
Kind of like similar to what Barbara said, because I feel like for me personally, I've always had this struggle with looking at my past and feeling like still kind of stuck there, not really releasing it. So I could really relate to the card so much, because it's almost like I'm finding a balance of healing and releasing, and just really letting things go. And then there's a part of me that's like perfection and trying to make a lot of progress because I'm so used to that. And being at home, a bit of a go slow is challenging. So I definitely related to that. Like, you need to take a leap and just release and let go and just no regrets. So yeah.
Good. Yes. Thank you. Anybody else would like to say what it means in their life? Insights? Maria?
Yeah, Fiona, when I said earlier about the intellectualizing, you said you see things spiritually when you're going through a situation or change. The spiritual, then the intellectual, then the emotional. I've realized I'm the same. I deal with things first on the spiritual, then I go to the intellectual. But something you said earlier just linked to something that was said to me in the week, and I've just realized as you were reading that card that I think I get stuck on the intellectual. I kind of thought when we did the Enneagram at first that I was a 5, because I like to deep dive into the knowledge, the information. I get so enraptured there, but I need to keep going to the emotional and thinking about some of these things. As I said, I'm in a place where I'm re-envisioning, re-looking at my value system, just making some edits. There's no big dramatic changes because I've always been sort of relatively clear on my purpose. But it's the finishing it through, going through the emotional thing and then moving forward. I think some of my reasons for getting stuck or having repeat patterns, so karmically things keep coming up because I'm not finishing the process. I get stuck in the intellect because that's the place that I enjoy, the spirit and the intellect, and it's not always easy to finish the process. So just that moving from, going through it, healing it, and then letting it go and moving on. So this was a particularly valuable card for me. I think absolutely appropriate for me. So wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And to handle the emotional side is not for faint-hearted. It takes a lot of energy going into those emotions and actually feeling them and releasing them. And I guess your energy capacity has just been to keep it, I want to say, above board, just there in the mind region, because that takes X amount of energy. And if you drop down to the emotional side and experiencing the emotional side, it can be taxing, as you said, because sometimes after a session with me, you need some time out and you need to reintegrate all that, because it is taxing on the body, but it is releasing it from the body. So there's an apprehension and a resistance towards it, yet it's the key thing that will actually help you also forward. So it's to brave it and to feel it. And the one client that came yesterday was also, I think 2 of them was also 2s without them knowing that they're Enia type 2s. But it is understanding the emotions that we feel and releasing them. And it's to be patient with it. It's to understand that, okay, this is coming up, but not to go and intellectualize it, or why am I still feeling, or why is this coming up, or intellect doesn't have anything to do with it. In the beginning of my process, I told my dad, okay, I don't believe there's actually emotional intelligence, because my emotional body is totally not intelligent at the moment. What she was feeling, what she was thinking, what she was doing, what she will accept, which is not unacceptable, is like, yeah, I don't think she has any intelligence, but it's like I've had allowances for her to feel and to go through all the feelings and to do all that, and patience. And sometimes it's not, so the mind is going in the doing, and what can I do to make it better? And the emotions, doing doesn't necessarily work with emotions. It is the not doing. It is just the feeling. And it is the advice that I gave to the one client yesterday was, she asked, so what must I go and do now? I said, nothing. You just need to do whatever it is that will comfort you. You need to focus on comfort. Have a comfy blankie. Even if you have to hug or snuggle a teddy bear or anything that will comfort you. You must eat comfort food. That food that you loved when you were a child, that comforted you. You must give yourself all that healing and nurturing energies. It's not the doing. You don't have to figure out how Monday's appointments are going or how the meetings, because there's a lot of fear and anxiety with it. But it's sometimes you just have to just be, and it's okay to do nothing and just be and just receive and just whatever it is that makes you feel the most comfort and protected and safe and loving is the best thing that we can do for us. We're just programmed that we have to be this doing beings and keep on working at it, and with emotional self that doesn't necessarily work. And that's when I suggest to people that losing your mind is sometimes the best thing that can happen for you in healing the emotional body. Because a couple of times when clients sit in front of me, I lost my mind. I said, thank goodness, that's the best thing that can happen to you, because our minds, yes, keeps us in that repetitive cycle, and then it doesn't get processed fully. And then we get to experience it again to see, are we going to release it now or still experience it? And that's when, like, these coloring in books or anything that you can get yourself out of your mind, just do not, something that is the least important is sometimes the most important. So for 2s, it is to go to 4 and be creative and do something creative. So, yeah. Alrighty. So out of Kryon's parables, the one that was chosen that came up as a number 3. And it's again a children's one. And I have to smile with my tongue in my cheek when I read these children ones, because I think they're just adorable. And they come with so many messages that they are quite profound. So, because it's in the simplicity. They say a spirit simplifies and our ego complicates. Our ego think all these spiritual things has to be complicated, and it's the furthest from the truth, because it is, if we get the simplicity of things, we actually get to understand it even better. So, this parable, and again, just for those that listen to it in the future, a parable, you listen intuitively and you look at the symbolism, because there's symbolism to you and what is happening, but it's just in a story form to make it interesting. So this one is about the big fuzzy caterpillar. For children, apparently, this parable has a message that is unmistakable. When presented live, the doubting caterpillar has a deep, tired voice. You might even recognize the caterpillar when you read this. Many do. It is also one of my favorites. So let's start it. The forest was bursting with life, and underneath the low foliage canopy of the ground cover, the big fuzzy caterpillar was speaking to his group of caterpillar followers. Not much had changed in the caterpillar community. The big fuzzy caterpillar's job was to watch over the group so that all the old ways were kept and represented and being respected. After all, they were sacred. Word has it, said the big fuzzy caterpillar, between bites of his ever-present leaf meals, that there is a spirit of the forest who is offering caterpillars everywhere some big new deal. Munch, munch. I have decided to meet with the spirit and advise you on what we are supposed to do. When will you find the spirit? Asked one of the followers. It will come to me, said the big fuzzy one. After all, can't go too far, you know. No food beyond the grove. Can't be without food. Munch, munch. So when the big caterpillar was alone, he called out loud for the spirit of the forest. And before too long, the great quest of the great quiet spirit came to him. The forest spirit was beautiful, but much was hidden, since the caterpillar wasn't known to leave the cozy leaf bed. I can't see your face very well, said the big caterpillar. Come a bit higher, said the spirit of the forest in a kind voice. I'm here for you to see. But the caterpillar remained where he was. After all, it was his house, and the spirit of the forest was there by invitation. No, thanks, said the big fuzzy one. Too much trouble right now. Tell me, what's all this that I hear about some big miracle that's only available to caterpillars, not to ants, not to centipedes, just caterpillars? It's true, said the spirit of the forest. You have earned a gift that is amazing. And if you decide you want it, I'll tell you how. How did we earn it? Asked the big fuzzy one, busy with his third leaf since the conversation started. I don't remember signing up for anything. You earned it through your wonderful lifetime effort to keep the forest sacred, said the spirit. You bet, exclaimed the caterpillar. I do that every day. Every day. I'm the leader of the group, you know. That's why you're talking to me instead of any other caterpillar. Upon hearing this comment, the forest spirit smiled at the caterpillar, although the caterpillar couldn't see it since he had decided not to get off his leaf. I have been keeping the forest sacred now for a long time, said the caterpillar. What do I get? It's an amazing gift, replied the forest spirit. You are now able, through your own efforts, to change into a beautiful winged creature and fly. Your colors will be amazing, and your nobility will startle all who sees you. You can go anywhere you wish in the forest, by flying above it all. You will be able to find food anywhere you meet new beautiful winged creatures as well. All of this you may do immediately if you wish. Caterpillars that fly, mused the fuzzy one. That's unbelievable. If this is true, then show me some of these flying caterpillars. I want to see them. It's easy, replied the spirit. Just travel to a high place and look around you. They are everywhere, flitting from branch to branch, having a wonderful, abundant life in the sun. Sun? Exclaimed the caterpillar. If you really are the forest spirit, you know that sun is hot for us caterpillars, breaks us, bakes us. It does. Isn't good for our hair, you know. Have to stay in the dark. Nothing worse than caterpillar with bad hair. When you change into a winged creature, the sun enhances your beauty, said the spirit kindly and patiently. The old methods of your existence will change dramatically, and you will leave the old caterpillar ways on the floor of the forest while you soar into the new ways of the winged ones. The caterpillar was silent for a moment. You want me to leave my comfortable bed here and travel to a high place in the sun to see proof? If you need proof, that's what you have to do, replied the patient spirit. No, said the caterpillar. Can't do that. Have to eat, you know. Can't go to strange high places in the sun to gawk when there's work to do. Too dangerous. Anyway, if you were the spirit, the forest spirit, you would know that caterpillars' eyes point down, not up. The great earth spirit gave us good eyes that point down so that we can find food. Any caterpillar knows that. What you ask isn't very caterpillar-like, said the increasingly suspicious fuzzy one. Looking up isn't something we do much of. The caterpillar was silent for a moment. So how do you accomplish this flying thing? The spirit of the forest then explained the process of metamorphosis. He explained how the caterpillar had to commit to the change, since he could not reverse it after it starts. He explained how the caterpillar uses his own biology while in the cocoon to change into the winged creature. He explained how the changer will require a sacrifice, a time in quiet darkness, while in the cocoon until all was ready for the graduation into the beautiful multicolored flying creature. The caterpillar listened quietly, not interrupting except for the munching noises. Let me get this straight, the caterpillar finally said inadvertently. You want us to lie down and give intent for some biological thing that we have never heard of to take us over. Then we are to let this new biology biological thing encase us totally in the dark for months? Yes, replied the spirit of the forest, knowing only too well where this conversation is going next. And you, the great forest spirit, won't do this for us. We have to do it ourselves. I thought it is earned. I thought we earned it. You earned it, said the spirit quietly. And you also earned the power to change yourselves in the new forest energy. Even as you sit on your leaf, your own biology is equipped to do it all. What happened to the days when food fell from the heavens, water parted, and the walls of cities fell down? Stuff like that. I'm not stupid, you know. I may be big and fuzzy, but I've been around a while. The spirit of the earth always does the big work, and all we are supposed to do is follow instructions. Anything. If all we did was to ask, we would starve. The caterpillar knows that you have to eat all the time, munch, munch, to stay alive. The big New Deal sounds pretty suspicious to me. The caterpillar thought for a moment and said, dismissed, to the forest spirit as he turned around to find where the next bite was coming from. The forest spirit quietly departed and asked, as he heard the caterpillar mumbling to himself, caterpillars that fly, my left feet, munch, munch. The next day, the caterpillar issued a proclamation and gathered his followers together for a conference. All was still at the crowd. All was still as the crowd listened intently to find what the big fuzzy one had to say about their future. The spirit of the forest is evil, proclaimed the caterpillar to his followers. He wants to trick us into very dark place where we will surely die. He wants us to believe that our own bodies will somehow turn into flying caterpillars. All we have to do is stop eating for a few months. Great laughter ensued at this remark. Common sense and history will show you how the great earth spirit has always worked, continued the caterpillar. No good spirit will ever take you to a dark place. No good spirit will ask you to do something so godlike by yourself. These are all tricks of the great evil forest spirit. The caterpillar swelled up with self-importance, ready for the next comment. I have met with this evil one and have recognized him. The other caterpillars went wild with applause and at this remark. and they carried the big fuzzy one on the smaller fuzzy backs in circles while they gave him praise for saving them from certain death. We leave this festival of caterpillars and gently move up through the forest as the commission below begins to fade from our ears. We pass through the canopy of leaves that shields the bottom of the forest from the sunlight. We gently move up through the darkness of the leaves into the area reserved for those who can fly. Even as the dim of celebrating caterpillars is gradually lost to our ears, we experience the grandness of the winged ones. Flitting from tree to tree in the bright sunlight are multitudes of glorious colored free-flying caterpillars called butterflies, each one in the splendor of rainbow colors. Some that were even former friends of the big fuzzy dark one below. Each one with a smile and plenty to eat, each one transformed by the great gift of the spirit of the forest. So the author's postscript. Like so many other parables, this little one about the single caterpillar has multiple messages and some insights about the way God treats us with unconditional love. It also speaks of our current earth changes. Kryon chooses the caterpillar because we all have known since we were kids that indeed caterpillars go into an amazing metamorphosis and become flying multicolored butterflies. It's the classic story in nature of an ugly, fat, hairy worm with lots of feet turning into a beautiful, peaceful flying butterfly. The former we brush off us with disgust, and girls scream a lot. And the latter we welcome to sit on our hand or our nose. The facts, therefore, are common to all. And so the story takes us to some special significance. The parable is about something that is real, but which seems to be fearful or illogical when analyzed by the standards of the intellect that worships only the old methods. If caterpillars really could think and hold meetings, I guarantee that some would never go into metamorphosis. They would also tend to polarize themselves politically into the ones that did and the ones that didn't. And typically, they would probably never look around to see what the ones that did were like. This is because it is absolute human nature to get into a groove and stay there if it ever marginally works for us. Even in the darkest places, there is resistance to change. Since sometimes we burrow into our holes and surround ourselves with the old ways. Through this, the old ways become sacred, and the new ways become blasphemous. The stillness of the caterpillar rejecting the change into a butterfly. The silliness of the caterpillar rejecting the change into the butterfly, unfortunately, is not unlike what humans do daily. Not satisfied to simply reject spiritual change, some humans form organizations and evangelistically tell all they meet to follow their lead. Somehow it takes it makes them stronger to entrench themselves with others of like mind around them, especially those who they have convinced. Historically, history is filled with tragedy after tragedy of cult leadership and death, and it continues today. How many people do you know who have rejected something new for no reason other than what they have is good enough? Even when presented with gifts, some either feel unworthy to take them or feel it has to be some kind of trick. This is due to the fear-based thinking and decision-making that is the staple of old earth energy. In the case of the caterpillar, he was afraid he wouldn't be able to continue his food fetish if he left his abode, even to prove the caterpillar could fly. Metaphorically, this is the way of saying that we make fear-based decisions that keep us from advancing through faith to the next level of our awareness. Some of us won't even make the trip to a meeting or a store or to a friend's house to examine something that another has said is wonderful or amazing. We think to ourselves, it can't be true, therefore it isn't. Then we go on about our business and remain in the dark. How does God treat us when we do this? This parable, along with many others of Kryon, is given, shows us the unconditional love of God. It speaks of the fact that God is here with wonderful information and energy gifts in the new age for those who wish to envelop them, those who do not are not judged, and best of all, those who decide not to believe are not evangelized. Notice that the spirit of the forest, even though he knew of the caterpillar's mindset, did not defend the new gifts or try to talk the caterpillar into anything. The spirit of the forest simply loved the fuzzy caterpillar, no matter what the caterpillar did, and he spoke the truth to him. It was up to the caterpillar to discern if the truth belonged to his life, or if he would stick to what worked at the moment. Did you notice that the spirit of the forest asked the caterpillar to do something in order to find the proof? The old methods don't support such a thing. In the old days, proof was always brought to us. Therefore, the caterpillar decided not to look. If there is any sadness in this parable, it is the fact that the caterpillar leader affected the lives of many surrounding him. He stopped their growth with fear-based messages and kept them from deciding something important for themselves. Many, therefore, would never see the sunlight, the freedom, and the colors. Many would be washed away by the rains flooded at the bottom of the forest, instead of taking flight and shelter in the dry trees. Kryon has told us that we are sitting in the greatest spiritual change that has ever taken place, and that the earth will resound with new vibration. Look around you. Do you think things are changing on this planet? For example, one of them, the consciousness of peace. Today, where the ancient scriptures told us the desert would be running red with blood by now, there are two countries negotiating water rights instead. Political prisoners who used to be incarcerated by dictatorships are now presidents of their own countries. The evil empire came tumbling down a while ago. Did you notice? Secondly, elements. Seen anything different about the weather patterns? Kryon told us that the entire crop growing scenario will change. Seen any floods lately, or winter conditions during spring, or big winds in places at a pace unheard of in our lifetime? All volcanoes where they were supposed to be dormant. Think about it. Thirdly, the Earth's frequencies. Did you know that the Earth-based frequencies called the Schumann resonance has for decades been 7.8 cycles per second? The military base, the military built its entire communication system based on an assumed constant Schumann resonance. Suddenly, it's moved to 8.6 and continues to climb. I've looked at it yesterday. There's an app that you can look at the Schumann resonance, and I think it was up to 40 and so. I'll send you the links. But it's so when we are connected to the earth and we're grounded, the Schumann resonance has an effect on us, and we at that frequency. But as the earth's frequencies has risen, so too has our own. And I'll read you something about it because it's fascinating, and it's never changed. It's forever been 7.8, but now it's at higher frequencies. So it's like as the earth changes, so we need to change and adapt to that. The magnetics, that's a fourth point. Did you know that the magnetic north is now on the move, and it has moved? And Kryon was telling about the move prior to its move in his first book, I think. Did you know that the strength of the Earth's magnetic field is lessening? What does that mean? Kryon tells us that the Earth is responding to the fact that we are rising the vibration of the planet, and that we have new gifts from God to assist us. What do you think about those who ignore all these signs and cling to the old ways when all around them the planet is shouting, "Things are changing"? The caterpillar did, and he took many with him in the process. Munch, munch. The end. Okay, so who is going to tell us what this caterpillar story has meant for them, or the insights, or the understanding, or messages? The floor is open to you guys. Barbara.
Hi. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of stuff. But one of the things mainly that stood out for me was the taking of instructions from the big fuzzy caterpillar. All the other little caterpillars were taking instructions from the big fuzzy one instead of thinking for themselves. And it's so easy, particularly with a lot of religions, to just follow what people tell you, you know, and do it and think, well, that's okay, now I'm going to go to heaven.
Yeah.
Faintest idea who you are or how you're going to get to heaven, because you haven't looked inside yourself for the instructions, which are in you. They're not coming from outside, they're inside you, and you've just got to find them. So that was the thing for me. And then it was also very interesting what you said about the resonance, the Earth's vibrational resonance, because I don't know if I'm right, but I think I read something the other day that in December last year, one day, it actually went up to 158. It just peaked and went up to 158 from 12 or whatever. Yeah. So it's going up and down all the time. And I think this is why people are feeling so weird, you know, at the moment, because to try and adapt to all this stuff that's going on. So that's it. Yeah, that's what I got from it. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes. All valid. Yeah. Anybody else?
Sorry, I just found it absolutely profound. There were so many things coming at me as you were reading. I just was thinking, oh my word, I was trying to write stuff and keep up while being in it. This is definitely one that I want to go back to because this theme, for me personally, this theme of becoming a butterfly, this transformation, and the fact there is this dark space that you have to go through to get there. And I had always, also coming from a churched background, with Barbara referencing it just now, that sort of religious background where the environments I was in, there was almost a denial of that. It's almost ungodly that to go through the darkness, that's of the devil, to go through dark period or a negative emotion, that's not godly. And so when you go through that feeling, you know, that you've got to resist it. So recognizing sort of, you know, more recently over the years, having recognized that actually being in that dark place is part of the transformation, and becoming okay with it and being still with it and sitting with it. Ironically, I say that about the emotion, but yeah, that was for me very, very profound. And I love the synchronicity with the cards that you drew. We need to leap forward and move from hairy fat caterpillar to beautiful butterfly. And we need to see as well the God self, the caterpillar is part of, you know, the caterpillar type, you know, is part of nature, and the butterfly is part of nature. Those various sides of us are all part of the human experience. It's part of the bigger picture, and so resisting any of it, I think resistance just is going to, it's going to keep us locked in a place where our potential is just not realized. So yeah, very, very profound for me. Hard to put into words. I'm going to go back to this.
Yes, it's definitely one worthwhile revisiting, because yes, it's jam-packed with so much information and so many hints and clues and whatever. And what stands out for me, and that was what Kryon keeps on re-emphasizing, it's like we are creatures of habit. So we think if things has been working this way, it will keep on working this way. And that is our mistakenly human thinking, because the messages that keep on repeating is there's been a change. And it's like in one of the parables, they talk about the red room or something like that, or the purple room or something like that. But it's like, and it's a parable about the changeover at 2012 when it was a 26,000 year cycle that has come to an end, and we started a new 26,000 year cycle. And he said that we used to the red room in that energy, and we are red people with red consciousness, and we do things that way. And now we've entered the purple room with our red consciousness, and we need to upgrade our consciousness to the purple room, because the purple room is totally different to the red room. And what is happening on this earth plane is the changes are so dramatic and so vast and so different. It's really a leap to the whole other side. And when we resist it, and when we think, no, but it's always been like this, Kryon just keeps on re-emphasizing, but it's not going to be like that going forward. We have to realize that we are in a different room. We are guardians of this earth plane. We are guardians of the animals. We are guardians of so many. We are to take our jobs with greater responsibility, because we came here for this. We came here to enjoy this. We came here to become conscious and aware and understand the changes. But we can't take the old consciousness or old ways of doing forward. And I think that is also, as you said, the appropriateness of how things have been happening and falling in place, and how the cards is also talking to the story. It's you can't make these things up, because I didn't read them all together last night, and now I can see, oh, that's why they came through. And also the discussions that we've been having about our approach to the changes, and reinventing ourselves, or trying to see that it's like a rebirthing of the new us into the new energy is happening for those that's choosing it. But the global reset of stopping everything in its tracks, because it has taken us to those levels to be able to do new things in new ways. I mean, no other way major changes that is happening now would have come about. And in no other method would we have re-evaluated our value system. So it's interesting that you said that you are reassessing your value system and all that, because it's actually for all of us. We have that opportunity to talk about what is actually important. What do I actually want to do? What is and refining it to its highest service, work, order, level, presentation, to see if it meets on all levels. That there's no compromise of your value systems because of either love or money, or listening to and upholding a higher authority that says, no, but we're still doing it the old ways. Hell no, you can't continue that way. So it's to see that it filters through on all levels, so that we stay true and authentic to ourselves, to our own value system, to our own energies. And also, it's I mean, if you just look at what the caterpillar can experience, all the lower stuff, and what the butterfly can experience, all the higher stuff. it's like, yes, the butterfly can fly down to the caterpillar level, and they're going to fly back up, but it's not limited. And it's to get ourselves to our unlimited state, because our godly particle is unlimited. And sometimes we read it and we think we understand it, but it's now to, oh yes, there's unlimited potential for all of us in our experiencing. But it's not to think like old humans. It's to see where in our consciousness and awareness do we still go back to old ways. Doing, reacting, prioritizing, whatever. It's like Barbara mentioned, 1 foot in 3D and 1 foot in 5D. Know it all too very well, because you have to sort of be in both, but it's like, and we'll still get to, there's some other parables that explains that also beautifully. But yeah, it's to consciously keep raising our vibration and operating and choosing only to operate at that level and meet people at that level, or else make certain adjustments and then continue. Okay. Anybody else would like to share their insights, understanding of the parable story? No? Okay. Ready for the meditation? Okay. Want you to become relaxed, getting yourself comfortable for this meditation, breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. Or with each in-breath, you're taking in the new levels of consciousness and awareness that's available to you. And with your out-breath, you release all that no longer serves you. Expanding your lower abdomen as you breathe in. And contracting your lower abdomen as you breathe out. Becoming more and more relaxed, more and more at ease, more and more at peace. Relaxing, 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 and feeling your shoulders drop even more with each out-breath. Releasing and discarding any levels of tension or strain, stress or fears that you experienced this past week. All the knots and knots, feelings that you've been experiencing, just detaching, releasing and letting it go like water running off a duck's back. Have no emotional attachment to that. Breathing in peace and tranquility within your entire being. I want you to feel yourself raising in consciousness higher and higher. Higher and higher. Until you reach a left. And as you enter the lift, the level that you are meant to go to today will spring to mind. I want you to press that level and feel the lift go up, until it reaches your level. As the lift doors opens, you see a golden gate. As you approach this golden gate, it opens on your arrival. You step into the most beautiful, magical forest. Scenery with heavenly energies. Vibrating with higher levels of frequencies, colors, sounds and energies. Want you to find the pathway that you wish to follow today and follow it on your journey. Goes and leads you into the thick of the forest. You feel the sacredness and the stillness of being in this special place. You feel your interconnectedness with the whole. Feel the ancient wisdom of these old tall trees. In awe of the beauty and the gratitude of being here. And the pathway leads you further. Where you get to the bottom of a mountain area, the foot of the mountain, and you find your pathway up it. And you follow its windy way up until you get to the top of the mountain. You find yourself standing on top of a cliff area. You observe the vastness of the beautiful sacred land below. Where the river runs through it. The abundance and the plentiful that is here. And I want you now to open up your wings, stretch them far, and I want you to take a leap of faith off this cliff and feel yourself soaring through the sky. Feel the lightness and the freedom that it gives you. Feel the wind blowing through your hair and supporting your wings. Allowing yourself this freedom of going anywhere that you choose to. Be it flying higher and seeing more, or going down, flying over the river, the forest area, wherever it is you're choosing to go and experience and explore in this lightness and this freedom. The choice of where you want to go to is yours. And there's a special sacred space within this beautiful forest area that is beckoning you. Which can only be reached by flying. And as you land on this sacred space, the sacred area, you go and sit in a meditative space, meditative position. And feel the beautiful warm sun rays. The beautiful blessed rays of God now pouring upon you. Activating the God particles within you. Just opening yourself up to higher levels of awareness and knowingness. Receiving the next download of information that you are ready to receive. The new gifts, energies and high levels of consciousness and awareness that's available to you now in your next evolutionary leap forward. I want you just to be in total openness as you receive these messages, words, images, feelings, however it comes to you, just be open. Asking the lower mind and the lower ego to step aside as you connect with your higher self of the light, your Christed over self of the light, and connecting to your beloved I Am presence, and connecting to the energy of the Mother God. And feel the love and support that there is for you in remembering who you are and how loved you are and how supported your mission here on earth is. And taking these energies now down your body, out your spine, and grounding it now. Sending a grounding cord deep down, and anchoring it in whatever it is you're choosing. And feel the supportive energy that comes from beneath, up your grounding cord. The support that there is for you, for your mission here on earth. Connecting to your heart chakra. Feel yourself being connected as above, so below. All connected in your heart center. Allowing the energy in the heart center now to expand as you open up your heart center. Want you just to feel a beam of light coming out of your heart center. Like that of a lighthouse, beaming far and wide, the loving energies. And with your consciousness, I want you now to share this love, this light, the healing rays that pours out of your heart to all areas that you are choosing in this now moment, to all those that you have heart connections with. Bring them peaceful blessings of love, light, and healing for their dark days, their dark night of the soul that they have to go through. Send it to all those areas on earth that is needing the light, the love, the care. All the bands of consciousness that is re-evaluating how things have been done and choosing different ways in how it's been going to be done in the future. It's holding the energy for the greater shift of collective human consciousness. Being a conduit of light, a pillar of light. Sending love to all those that are going through a grieving process, grieving the losses, grieving the pulling away of old ways. All those that needs to go through the healing process of grieving, holding space for them, for the collective grieving. All those who need our compassion and our love. May they receive it now. Just find forgiveness in your heart for yourself and forgiveness in your heart for others and for all past errors and judgments. Asking that all these judgments, these condemnations be transmuted back into love. Asking for the recognition of one another as brothers and sisters, all of the same source energy. Allowing the particles of ourselves to recognize it within another, all that we come in contact with. Drawing all that peacefulness now, that contentness, wholeness and understanding that everything is perfect exactly as it is in this moment in time, and bringing it into our heart center. Feel yourself just radiating love in your aura. Feel this for yourself, being aware of your own light. Healing from your love, from your light. Becoming more and more peace and more at ease. And the knowing that everything is perfect. And you raise from the area that you've been sitting and connecting. You open up your wings and you fly back. Over the beautiful landscapes until you come back and land close to the Golden Gate. Using the beautiful forest spirits, all the connection and the blessings and the healing and the light. Know that at any stage that you wish to, you can come back to the sacred space and experience this for yourself again. With gratitude in your heart, you move out of the Golden Gate and it closes behind you. You step back into the lift. You feel the lift coming down, 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 down to the bottom level, and you gently exit and descend, descend, descend back into your body, into your crown chakra. You take a deep breath in as you connect with your body. I want you then to visualize the most beautiful silver golden bubble of light coming in all around you. See the silver golden bubble of light coming down the front of your body, the back of your body, the left side and the right side of your body, and gently tuck beneath your feet, 2 feet below you. Now from the base of the silver golden bubble, I want you to visualize a grounding cord, any color of your choosing, which you take deep down into the earth and wrap it around a big rose quartz crystal within the center of Mother Earth. Feel those unconditional love energies, supportive energies, crystalline energies coming back up your grounding cord and into your silver golden bubble of light. The silver golden bubble of light is for divine protection, and it only allows those energies, frequencies, and experiences that come forth in love and light in your space. All other energies are deflected and reflected. And with the wholeness of who you are, you open your eyes in full awareness, full awakeness. And I bid you the most magical day. And when you've regrouped yourself and you are back, I would love some feedback on your meditation. Yes, Barbara.
I have a lot of feedback. First of all, it was a lot of the meditation and the Kryon parable. It all kind of came together for me. First of all, during the meditation, I saw the purple room, the red room and the purple room. And I realized during the meditation that to get from the red room into the purple room, I'd have to do some releasing. So I did. In the meditation, I released the things that I'm having a problem with, which are being judgmental and then feeling guilty for being judgmental. Those are my two big things that I need to release. Anyway, so I did. I released everything and I released the guilt and I saw the red disappearing and the purple coming into my body and as I walked into the room. So that was good for me. And then the other thing that occurred to me was that the butterfly needs nothing. It has the freedom of being able to go wherever it wants, but also the freedom of not needing anything. It doesn't have to sit like the caterpillar crunching on leaves to keep itself going. It emerges from the chrysalis needing nothing and having everything. And that's also a type of that's the freedom that I felt anyway. So that's me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow.
It was a beautiful meditation. Thanks.
Thank you for your feedback. I just want to become overwhelmed with emotions because it's beautiful. When you get it, it is so beautiful. So thank you for sharing that. That's very valuable. And yes, so the more and more I connect in meditation, the more I realize there's nothing that I need because I have everything. And it's been coming to me a few weeks now, and I realized that is when I think I can't remember who with Beryl said everything that is mine is yours. And I realized that is what God wants us to know, because this whole creation has been created for us. We are particles of it all. It's all available to us. In our human thinking, we think, no, but I only have this. This is not mine. But it isn't this is mine. It's this is mine. The beauty is there for us to experience. The richness is there for us to experience. The love is there for us to experience. There's no limit. It's I want to say red room, red people thinking that me, myself, and I only have this, and if this is taken away, then I have nothing. We don't have. It's to think more 5D. Think out of the box, out of the crystallis, out of the. It's like where the little caterpillar only thinks, no, it only has this leaf, and then only this leaf, and then only this leaf, and I have to consume all this leafliness, and the awareness of the butterflies. Oh, but there's more than just leaves on this earth plane. There's more to experience than just consuming and just being limited by this. Actually, can be consumed by consuming. Which is, you're part of the system and you become part of the food chain, and and a lot of people realize, but I actually don't want to play that. I actually don't want to be that. So I'm so glad that you actually got to have that experience. Thanks for sharing that, Barbara. Thank you. Thanks. Anybody else would like to share what they experience in meditation? Yeah, Vanessa.
Wow. This might be a bit rambling, but yesterday I drew a card and it said new beginnings. So it was quite a powerful card, and I enjoyed it, and I read and I thought about it a lot. And then with the parable now and this meditation, and also what Barbara said is 1 foot in 3D, 1 foot in 5D. This meditation, I walked up the mountain, like you said, and it was a mountain at, well, it's not really a mountain, but it's at Golden Gate National Park, the Randbach, which is just my favorite place in the world. And then when you said that there's a Golden Gate, it was so powerful. And then I had this in the clearing, this idea of a new beginning. A new beginning is not a new chapter, and that's where my books came in. A new beginning is a new beginning to a new book, and you can't read the old book if you've finished it. And the old book felt like a Stephen King book. It was interesting and it was a good read, but it was, it scared me. And the new book, I'm ready now for a light book, something uplifting. I don't want to read a heavy book again. And this new beginning, it was just beautiful. And then also the red room and the purple room. You can't be in the red room and the purple room. You have to do the new beginning. You move out. You start a new book. Yes. It was amazing. Thank you.
Oh, wow. What an awesome experience.
Yes, it was. It really was. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share what they got from their meditation? Anita.
Hi, Fiona. I also, beautiful meditation. I found
Just talk a little bit up, Anita. We can't hear you clearly.
Okay, maybe I changed the phone because I needed to charge it.
Yes, no problem.
It was a beautiful meditation, lots of healing I found. So I really enjoyed it. It's a meditation that I definitely am going to revisit. Something really interesting. I had an awful pain at the bottom of my spine. So I actually focused on that during meditation, and hence I got up and felt so much lighter. So this transformation from the caterpillar to the butterfly beautifully resonated with me. So thank you.
Thank you. That's so beautiful to hear. And thanks for sharing that. And I'm so pleased that you feel better and that the pain is gone. So, and that's usually when we do let go in meditation. So it does change that. So I'm very, very pleased to hear that. For me it was also beautiful. I chose to participate and do it, so my eyes was also closed and I went there, and I felt a lot of love and compassion also being shared with others. So in one of the clients that came yesterday, she shared a story with something that has happened here in South Africa in Randburg. I'm not going to go into the details, but felt that there's a lot of things that happens and people lose loved ones, and there's a lot of compassion that needs to be spread around. And the grieving process is a long process. It's not just okay, I've forgiven someone. Some acts seem to be unforgivable, but we do, and we get to that. But it's to have compassion all around, because going through that grieving process is like the lady that has lost her brother that came yesterday. He was shot 20 times like 2 years ago, and she just stayed in anger, not forgiving, not being able to let go, not be able to know how was his last times or whatever, and to hear from him that everything is well, and that he's happy, and that he's in a good place, and that he has the freedom, and that it was meant to happen that way, and that his kids will be okay, and that she will be okay, and just that okayness. Sometimes we view a situation and we judge that situation just by its face value, but that soul has chosen that experience, has chosen to be part of a catalyst of forgiveness and opening up and healing, because each experience has multiple benefits and gifts for everyone that's involved in that. It's a catalyst experience for healing and for growth and for understanding and for whatever. So it's just to hold that space for others that need the compassion in this moment in time, through their dark night of the soul, and having to face and getting to forgiveness. That ain't easy with certain of the experiences that happens, but yeah. So I felt that quite strongly, chose to participate in that. So thank you for being part of the circle. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your beautiful energy and sharing this with me. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I wish you the most magical week, and that good things come on your pathway as you take your leaps, whatever your leaps means this week. Even if it's a small leap off your leaf, wherever the comfort zone leaf has been. And I look forward in connecting with you next Sunday again. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Lots of love.